Good afternoon, everyone. I'm a little slow at getting Tag Tuesday done. I don't know how many YouTube videos I watched, how many tags I looked at. I just couldn't find a creative moment, but I finally did. Excuse my one cat is coming through over on the other shelf. So this is going to kind of be a continuous thing. So today we're not really going to, well, we're going to kind of create the tag, but we're going to start with one part of the tag. So we're going to mass make the back of the tags. I have a serious problem right now. I have this is full of scraps. I have another bin full of scraps. I have this little box I started full of scraps. And as well, right now, even in this folder here, and I think I have even another one, because every once in a while I clean my desk off and I throw paper into here. So there might even be, or they might not be. This one might not have. Well, it's not, well, this is kind of a scrap. So we'll move it over. But I have a lot of these. Sometimes I throw paper into. Scraps, sort of scrappy. It's not fully scrappy yet. So, you know, I have a lot of these. Now, some of these I made mistakes on. They didn't print out well, so technically it's a scrap. So we'll use one of those, because what you want to start off is you want to grab different, like lined paper, blank paper, like this. Well, I saved that for scrappy. There's this one, all kinds of different papers. And I'm not using new sheets. I could use new sheets, but I want to use up a lot of my scraps. So I'm just going to put that aside for now. So basically what we're going to do, and the next thing I have is when I first started out, I was cleaning up, as I told yesterday in my Merry Monday on YouTube, is when I first started journaling, I didn't have a lot of experience. I didn't have any way of getting good digitals. I didn't have a good printer. It was a costly printer. And sometimes I found ways to print things. I used to teach English at a French daycare. And I have these things that I printed. Like I have this. Yes, it's beautiful, but I'll never use that. I guess I could technically, but it's printed so wrong. And I have all this nice, like this has one little rabbit on it for a whole piece of cardstock. You can imagine. So I don't want this to go to waste. I could throw it in the recycle. This one I would have to gesso over it because I think it'd be too bright. But I have more of this stuff. I have a file. I keep a file, like a file holder, a paper one with things in it. And so I want to use some of this up and get rid of it because it's getting overwhelming and taking up space and it looks messy. So I'm trying to use up some things that are taking some valuable space without throwing them in the recycle. So this is what I'm using. And basically what we're going to do is, see, even this I need to, you know, after a while you kind of got to go back. So basically we're going to take plain paper and put it on this. So we're going to do a little bit of that. That's going to be our mass making today. Basically pulling out your scrap lined paper, blank paper, tea dyed paper. I don't usually use too much tea dyed paper unless it's small, tiny pieces, because I make scrappy pads, so I like two-sided paper to be kept for that. Lined paper, any little scraps you have that you could write on, because this is going to be the back of your tag. Okay, so basically, let me just pull one here. I'm going to put those off to the side. And for this, you're going to need a glue stick, a ruler, scissors. Sometimes I have this folding thing. Sometimes I have one of my tear rulers. I have a plain ruler. I have, oh, look at that. And I have basic ink. Okay. And we're just going to basically you're going to go through your scraps. Like I have this, even these, for instance, I was doing something for my sister and I didn't like how it turned out. I didn't want to throw that away. I can turn that into a tag. So, I mean, so I have scraps in here, lots and lots of scraps in here. And it doesn't matter the size of them. Like, I'm going to pull out some of these small ones here. I might use that for something. There's some. You could even, if you wanted to, put music paper, because technically you could write, but I have enough plain paper. And you don't want it too small because, you know, you don't want to spend hours doing all kinds of... So I'm just seeing what else I have in here. I don't really like this one because the lines are too close. Excuse me, I didn't yawn all morning till I turned on the camera. And then all of a sudden I decide I'm going to yawn. Right out of the blue. So let's start with some of these that we just pulled out. See, for instance, this is a tea dyed, but it's kind of little. But mind you, I have something else in mind for that. I like to use that for stamp. Well, I do that too. My scraps, I pull out my stamps and I stamp on them as well. So that's another thing we might do for... Oh, I have a thing coming up called Scrappy. It's going to be Scrappy. And I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do the back, because I might start the back first, because I should take my and wash that stuff so that it's not. So I'm just basically, and sometimes I do just add a little bit. I don't do a lot because you don't want to thing just because sometimes when, especially with white paper, you kind of get an edge that kind of shows more white. And because I kind of want it to flow, so I don't want it to be definite. And I brought 2 glue sticks, and I don't like this glue, but I'm not going to waste it. I'm going to use it up. I need glue sticks desperately. I don't know about you guys, but has anybody noticed that the price of glue sticks seems to be going up? I have a favorite glue stick called Pritt, P-R-I-T-T. And here in Canada, first of all, it's very hard to find. Secondly, if I find it, even on Amazon, they want a lot of money for it. And it's my favorite glue stick. I know some of you like the Scotch glue stick as well. And again, I can't find it where I'm not paying a fortune for it. Now, I was going to pull this, but I don't want all the same paper. You do want a bit of a variety here. So sometimes I just glue on the paper because we're going to be... And the nice thing about this glue stick, though, if I do go on the paper, well, 1, I can wipe it off. 2, it dries pretty clear. I do overlap them sometimes a little bit, because that way you make sure, you know. And like I'm doing it kind of in an order. You could just slap it anywhere on the paper if you want. It all depends on how you like to do things. Sometimes I try to be a little too organized in everything, and I overthink everything. So what we're going to do is you're going to mass make these. Make as many as you want, because basically we're going to make a bunch of these to make all kinds of tags. We're going to use some of them in the future to make tags with. So this is kind of like part 1, and then there'll be like part 2, part 3, and then whatever you have extra, you can just keep. And when you have future projects, and you need to use tags, then you'll have some already with the back done and ready to go. So you can use up some of your pieces. I'm trying to use up some of my smaller pieces at the same time, because put that one there. just so I can get rid of some of these pieces, like, and get some of this paper under control, because having all those bins takes a lot of space up that, you know, mind you, I'm going to just create more scraps. But let's try to, that's why I'm supposed to be doing Scrappy Saturdays. But with Christmas around the corner, every Saturday seems to be doing, so Friday nights are shopping nights. So we leave at usually, what time do we usually leave around? And I'm trying to put a variety of papers just to, you know, make it a little more creative. You don't have to if you have a bunch of the same type and you want to do it that way. It's your paper. You decide how you want the back. I want kind of a collaged writing space is what we're creating here. It's collaged papers, but for writing. And then the front, we'll do different things. I didn't post it here. I'll probably post it Wednesday, because I have a rule that you can't post your YouTube channel other than the ones that are made for, like, mass making, Tag Tuesday, or if we're doing an event or something. That's when I can post without following the rules. But I now have, and I'm going to put this, if you guys want to do it with me here in Junk Journal Craft and Chat, I kind of do both. I have my YouTube, which I always do upload this to YouTube, but this one here is mainly for my Junk Journal Craft and Chat. But if you guys want me to do Merry Monday, it is Christmas, and I know not everybody celebrates Christmas. It is Christmas, so be warned. And I'm a Christmas person, so Christmas is always going to be a very, very, very important part of who I am. I make no apologies for it. It is my favorite holiday. I will always celebrate it. I will always promote it. I like both sides of it. I like the Christian side to it, Christ's birth and everything like that. And as well as I love the whole decorating, Santa Claus, the whole kit. Oh, I can't even speak. And so, if you want to do Merry Mondays, if you want me to do Merry Mondays, please, I used to do mass making on Monday. It is now going to be Wednesdays. Monday will be Merry Monday in my YouTube, and I can do it here as well as if you want me to do it as an event. My Merry Mondays is not just going to be for the Christmas time. I am doing Merry Monday all year round. Because what I find happens, and if you go to YouTube, I have a video, my first video uploaded yesterday, and it kind of tells you more about why I'm doing Merry Monday in detail, and it shows you some of my goals. Is I find that I wait to do Christmas too late in the season, and I'm trying to get journals done, and I started like end of October, middle November, and I never get anything done. Have all these projects started and nothing done. And I wanted to take it a little bit further. I want to make tags. I have a whole plan laid out for the year to build up my supply, not only for my business online, but I'm talking to my sister. We used to do craft shows together all the time. Back then I promoted my Avon and she promoted her sewing business. But now I want to promote my junk journals, where I want to sell that, and card making and all kinds of different paper crafts. I want to expand my business and build the business. So I want to do craft shows as well. So if I'm doing craft shows in November, I need to have product ready, and I need a lot of product. So my goal is every Monday, my only focus is Christmas. I pull out whatever project I'm eventually going to have a schedule up and an idea of what I'm going to do. Some days I might make tags. Some days I make clusters and some of that stuff. They might be more along the line of, I want it straight. That's the only thing. Clusters and that would be more along the, to make ephemera for my journals. But I also would make tags, gift tags. And I might do a couple Mondays, here and there, a few Mondays where I'm just making handmade Christmas tags to package up and sell as a package. I might do a card making days, and we might make cards together. Different things like that. Either you can create with me, and I'm planning to try to put a little bit of a schedule ahead so that you can prepare. Okay, she's doing this, and so I need this, this, and this ready to go. So that's kind of where I want to go with that. And I would love for you guys to join in on that. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to post it. If there's a lot of you in here that want to do it with me, then I will post it in here because it will be coming an event. And I will post it in here. So, overlapping is going to happen. So let's overlap that. So please, in the comments, say, yes, I'm interested in Merry Monday. I'm in Junk Journal Craft and Chat. Just so I can see, because if there's not enough, I won't post it in there. And those that are interested, if you subscribe, you'll get notice. Because I think you have to put the little bell or something on. I have to learn more about the YouTube. It's a learning experience. Even my video yesterday, it takes a lot for my camera to download, so I changed the settings on my phone to see if I could make it take less time, and it became less clear. So I'm just going to take longer to upload it so that I have a clear picture. Now, yesterday wasn't as important to be as clear because it was more talking and explaining. So, but like days like today, where I'm doing a little bit more, I don't want that like that because I want, it's too thick. As you can hear me creating more. There. So let's just put this all here. I didn't want to lose that nice little ziggy-zag design. That's why I decided to go ahead and do this. And I finally found where I put my baby wipes, and now I'm trying to keep them in clear. I got a little bit more final touches to do, but I rearranged all of my, as I said before, I was feeling really bad, not so good, no energy, I even I took several COVID tests, I can't even speak, because I couldn't figure out what was going on. It wasn't like I really had a cold. I felt my head hurt, a really bad headache. I felt my ears are still a little sore, but I never coughed really. I always have a cough. I have a bit of a cough, dry cough all the time. It's just something that even my mom has, this dry cough. I think it's something, it might even have to do with having asthma. As I speak, I have to cough. I'll cough because my throat gets dry when I'm talking. Put it like that. Yeah. Where's that small ruler? And then I started to feel a little bit better last week, and I was like, I got to get this room reorganized. I didn't like the setup. I was having to get up and down out of my chair too much. I can't find it. I'm still trying to get the fine-tuning of it down, but the furniture setup I got done. Ooh, wrong way, Christina. So I got up on Wednesday. I did a little something. That was last week. And I moved bookshelves, and I moved my 2 desks, and I moved all the stuff. And of course, what did I do? Because I did it all by myself. I hurt my back. So I just need a little piece here, and I think everything is covered. Let's see, do we have, let's take maybe a little, let's just throw a little something in here different. Yes, I know that's not a scrap, but it is kind of a scrap to me because I made a mistake in the printing of it. I forgot I had something else in the printer and printed over top, but it didn't print the same. So it is sort of a scrap to me. I won't ever use it to do anything. I could probably use, no, on the back of the tag I could probably use, but I've got like 4 or 5 sheets of it. So the only problem with this, I changed my desk around a little, and my 2 desks are kind of, one's to the back, my chair's in between them, and my garbage can sits only on one side. So I'm going to have to buy a second garbage can, or just remember to move my garbage can over. That's the thing. So here we go. I know this is, so basically we're going to mass make all kinds of these boards. I'm going to put that glue on that. And I'm hoping that it might not be, I might do it here and there, but when I don't have a busy Saturday, Christmas this year is a little sad for me. I'm a big Christmas person, like I said earlier, and I jump from topic to topic, and I'll go back to the other topic if I remember what I was talking about. There we go. There's one ready. So then, you know, depending on the size of tags I'm going to make, it will depend on what I get out of it. I could even turn one into a larger tag. I could turn it into journal cards. That's basically what it's for. And I'm going to cover the side with the rabbit here. She's so cute though. But I don't want to cut her out because then she's right in the middle of the paper. And for me personally, it's a better way. Yes, I'm going to use that little piece up because I don't want to throw it back in my box. So I'm going to use it up. So the same with mass making. I don't like how much clusters, like I haven't really done a lot of clusters lately, but I'm going to try to lay out a little bit more direction. I got to spend a day. I'm just trying to get a couple of journals done for Christmas. So it's kind of my concentrating. January is going to be kind of a clean up and organize and set up all my projects. That'll be what happens for Christmas. Trying to reorganize a few things. I'm hoping to get some more plastic envelopes, but to do, get my fussy cuts all organized. I might make a couple of ephemera holders to put them in. If you want to see any of this, tell me. And I don't mind throwing together a video. I'm getting up, sorry guys. Last Christmas I did this for an exchange. Whoops, that was a Christmas card. I grabbed a Christmas card I didn't want. And so then I thought, when I was pulling out my Christmas stuff to do the Merry Monday, we made this for each other. And this is the one the lady made me. It's beautiful. And I thought, and it's done with paper bags. And of course it's filled with ephemera. So I thought, you know what? I might make a few of these out of paper bags. Not just use the plastic. And like I'm going to do another one of this. And I think I might put, you know, like there's pockets where I can slide in all the ephemera. Fill the pockets up. And I'm thinking of making a few like this because it would be not so hard to do. And I may not use this as much. Maybe I'll use rings and and then they can just sit on my desk. And if I categorize them, like I put all my tickets in here, or tickets would be too small, but I'm talking more like the larger journal cards and things like that, that I always have pre-cut. I'm thinking of that. That's one of the things I might do. It's one of the ideas bumping around in my brain, is making a couple of that for larger, because sometimes I do journal, I have a bunch of journal cards and I got them sitting up in a basket like this, but I can't stack a basket on top of each other, but I could put a line of those. So I'm just trying to think of ways to best utilize my space and organize so that when I'm creating projects, it's a little easier for me. It's the same with my Christmas. I'm starting with 2 journals that are half done, a pink journal and a winter, it's almost a minty green. And so I'm going to start with those first. And so I want to put all the stuff for it in one basket and keep it out. And then the other Christmas stuff I'll keep away for now. But I want to go through and set up projects. So that's all what my January, January might not be making as much stuff as it is organization, other than our Tag Tuesday and things like that. Or we might take a break and Tag Tuesday and just call it Organize with Me on Tuesday. I don't know. As I sit down with my schedule and I start to kind of put everything that's going through my brain, I don't want to use that. I use this for stamping on because I like the double-sided. I use it for other things when it's the tea-dyed. Tea-dyed paper is so valuable because it takes a lot. I need to tea-dye badly right now. That's the other thing I'm going to be doing in January. I'm going to, because I live in a basement apartment, so it's a little damp down here. So in the winter, it takes longer for my paper to dry. And I meant to do it before winter came, but, you know, I kept putting it off. So I want to build up my tea dyed, and the reason I was going to do that there, but it's too much the same color. So we're going to break it up a bit here and throw that in there, but it's not quite long enough for there. Maybe, yeah, but I want it there. Oh, okay, it's going to go there. So if there's something you really want to see done, and if I know how to do it, and if I don't know how to do it, sometimes I learn every day. I watch videos after videos after videos while I'm creating. Sometimes I'll watch the video 4 times because I'm working on something and I get caught up in what I'm working on and I forget to watch the video. So I rewind it a bit because all of a sudden something that they're making catches my eye and I'm like, oh, what did she just do? What did I just miss? And so I'm rewinding it, watching it. I'm been watching binding videos because that's something I need to improve on. And my binding isn't bad, but I want it to be better. So I'm always watching things to improve myself, to be the better version of myself, to make my product better, to, you know, things like that. Especially as I begin to sell them, I want to be able to sell people. And I think my work is good. And family and friends, even my niece at my sister's wedding, we and her had a really good heart-to-heart talk, and you know, and I was very hard on myself, and she said, Aunt Teen, you have such, that's what she calls me, Aunt Teen, you have such a skill, and your work is so beautiful, you know, just, she was encouraging me, which is really sweet. You know, she's trying to encourage me, and, you know, because I had made a post about how I feel that people closest to me don't really support what I'm doing. They don't see this as a business. They don't see how I can earn an income from it, and I'm determined to. I have health issues. I'm not able to work where I live because of language, and I was in French school, but because I have health issues, they don't allow me to go to language school. I can't afford to pay for it. So I have to retrain. I worked retail. I have to retrain. I can't retrain without learning French. Yes, I could move back to Ontario, but Ontario's rent is so expensive, I can't afford to live there. And then just the cost of moving itself, type thing. Maybe in 2 years, I might move to the Maritimes, the East Coast, with my sister. That's a talk that we've also had, that when she goes to retire from her daycare, she might move there, and then I considered that. So, you know, but you never know. Every day I get up, I thank God for another day of, you know, life is short. But I want to build this business, and I don't want to be rich. I don't have to be rich. I'm not looking to be rich. I'm looking, unfortunately, I live on social assistance because they don't consider me disability, because it's, if I can get surgery, maybe it'll fix the situation. And my doctor's, that's how my doctor puts it on the forms for disability. So I get turned down because she puts it as it's only temporary. Yes, it is temporary, but it's a long temporary because of, I've been waiting on a wait list for 4 years. Problem with it is 2.5 of those years is during the pandemic. So, you know, and I can't even get in to see my doctor. She's so busy. This glue stick is a pain. It's done. So I'm trying to find ways to support myself. I don't want to be on social assistance. I don't want to be. I've always worked all my life, and I don't want it to be. I want to support myself. And so this is part of what I can do right now, and what I'm capable of doing. See, I don't like that. So that's just going to go in the garbage. It's something I can do for myself right now. So that now became too short for what I want to do. So I need some more paper. So I want to take something I love doing and seeing what I can do with it. And my niece kept saying to it in her encouragement talk, she's like, "Auntie, you're so good. You could do anything. You know, stop putting yourself down. Stop doubting yourself. Just do it." And so that's what I'm doing now. I'm trying, and I'm working, and I have to fight through sometimes some serious health days. Some days I'm in a lot of pain. That reason hasn't been much up on the group. I just, the pain and the tiredness that it overtook me took me down, and that's going to happen, unfortunately, with my health issues. Ooh, look at that. I didn't get something skinny enough for that. That's okay. We'll take something and put it there. No problem. No problem. Like this. And it'll help add some contrast, but mind you, this would fit really good here. Yeah, but that's a lot of little pieces there. How about this here? Yeah, that's what we'll do. But I'm going to use the other side. That's not so dark. So, and like I said, I know that this business isn't going to happen overnight. It's going to be slow and steady to build it, and even so, when I'm having a lot of pain, and it's hard to explain to people what chronic pain is like, because it doesn't show on the outside. It's something you feel inside. And the same with the rheumatoid arthritis in my legs, and I have fibromyalgia as well. So it's hard to explain to people that pain and dealing with that pain. I don't like all that same color. So I'm going to build this business, and I'm going to build it while I'm trying to get my health intact, lose some weight, which is a really big struggle right now for me, and trying to make better choices and get myself back to where I used to be. I have larger pieces here I could use, but I'd rather save those for backs of tags regularly when I want to try and get gone, or all these little pieces that are floating around. I need to do some clusters. See, like this here, they're cardstock. Well, not that so much. Well, it is cardstock, but it's, you know, I don't throw anything out, but it adds up quickly in here. Okay, here's some more blank. Blank. That's cardstock. So, you know, she was encouraging me, and it felt good. It made me feel good that, you know, she notices my work and appreciates it, and it made me feel good, and it kind of made me eager to work even harder to build it. So, like, this is good colored ones if you want to add a little color to something. I have a lot of colored, but I'm not sure if I want to mix color in with it or if I want to keep it plain. Ooh. I'm just pulling out some more scraps because it's easier if all the scraps are out. So I got my box beside me and I'm just going through it. See, like even this I could use, because if I put it to the side, that little bit of lettering, or just even trim that off. And then you can get rid of that scrap. I don't even know what that was from. I don't even remember. So my scrap box got a bit, look at, I took and scrapped on that. What I had in mind for it, I don't even know. My scrap box has a lot of stuff. You can tell I use a lot of the same paper. I'm trying to find different types of paper in here. I don't want to really use that because that, again, is big enough for a back of the tag on its own. Come on, papers. I know there's more paper in here. Okay, here we go. So we got a good bunch again to go on with. I don't have any graph paper. That's what I don't have any scraps of, which is surprising. I should, but I don't. Just digging down a little deeper, see lots of little pieces down here we need to get used up. Like this is a part of a, oh, it's a, I thought it was a part of, I don't have any line there, so let's put a little line there. So this is what I'm doing. It's something I can try to change right now. So it makes me feel like I'm not just sitting around wallowing in, oh, poor's me. Life is so hard and I live in so much pain. I'm trying not to be that person. Oh, I shouldn't have glued all of that. That's okay. What we'll do, easy fix. I'll flip it over. I'll trim it. And it's perfect to sit right there. So I don't know how many of these you want me to do with you. Sometimes I enjoy doing lives. Do I want to save that? I think I want that green more than I want. I'll put that there. Put that little piece there. That's perfect. It doesn't matter. And I'm trying to make some stuff to get up in the shop. But at the same time, I'm trying to do two different things. And so I've got to figure out my days. Because I want to have journals for people. Oh, I put that the wrong way. Journals for people that don't make them so that they can buy them. So I want to do that type of customer base, but I also want to do things for people that make journals, want, you know, ready-made ephemera or different things, you know, if they want to, I don't know. Even that, I'm trying to find out what people would like to buy. Do you want to buy ready-made clusters? You know, what is it that you're looking for what would you purchase? Now, I know a lot of people like to purchase the dyed paper, which is a goal for me to eventually do, is to be able to sell dyed paper. I'll work that out somehow, some way. You know, I want to be able to find more vintage. I'm hoping to start going with my a friend of mine, Pascal, to find antique books, especially French, because I live in a very French province. So I'm hoping I can hit some of antique stores with her and find vintage French, real, like I do printing of vintage stuff, but I want to also sell real vintage as well. So I'm trying to think of different things that people may want to buy and build that to, you know, like buttons. I make homemade buttons, and I've showed you guys those homemade buttons, but I'm just talking and sharing with you guys. I hope you don't mind, but I'm also now doing this with my homemade buttons to put in my store. So these are my buttons that I made and that have put them on, and I didn't sew them permanently on, so that you could put this, you could cover the back of it and turn it into a journal card and put it in like that, or you could use the buttons. It's all up to you. And if you don't want them on the cards, I sell them just by themselves as well. So what I like about the faux buttons is they're not as bulky as real buttons. So if you want a little decor, but you don't want the bulk of it, then that's what I'm trying to do with that. So like I'm trying to find things, and I have an idea I'm working on after I'm done this. Just something I watched today, and I'm trying to make my version of it. And I'm hoping it's a surprise, so I don't want to say anything, tell you all about it. I've talked about my faux buttons before. I love my faux buttons. It was one of the best things I learned to make. I love using them on clusters. That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite things to use on my clusters, is the faux buttons. They're just perfect. And I just I've been making some more flowers. Mind you, my flowers right now haven't been selling, so I don't know if it's really what people want. So that's part of learning the business too. Learning what products. Sorry guys, I'm trying to see where I've missed. I think just there. So I got to bring it a little closer to the eyes. I just think I need a small piece down there. Do I have a really narrow piece? Right there. I have a really narrow piece. There we go. There we go. There's another one made. So this is all going to be for tags. And the thing is, the cardstock itself isn't very thick, but by the time I add this layer onto it, and then I do the decor to the front, it's going to be a decent feel to it. Let's do one more. And I need something very dark for the front of him. So that's where I might pull out. And I think I'm going to throw a little purple in this. I might use some of this purple up with the beige. Because it doesn't quite cover him though. I need something darker. Is that dark enough? Not quite, but I need to go this way. Or am I going to have to whitewash him? I think of that one right now. Let's see if we got another one in here we can use that I don't need to whitewash. I think all of them I need to whitewash. So let's see what else I have. I have tons of paper cardstock like this that I'm trying to use up. So let me just grab some. I'm going to have to whitewash that one. Let's see what's here. This one. We'll do one more and then I will be whitewashing those afterwards. And then I'm going to do them all up to make all the bases for all the tags we're going to do over the next couple of weeks. Some Christmas, some not. This is still pretty light. Oh! Well, we might do a smaller one up. See, that has to be balanced out. I can't believe I don't have one that I can do. Well, we might be, I want to do one more. Well, what we might do, we might do it anyways. Might do it anyways. Just do it. What we'll do. See what I'm talking about, ladies? I'll just pull it out. We'll do it. I'll do it with you for a moment. I need some more of these brushes. This one I forgot to clean, and it was my last one. But it's okay. It'll still work. So this is the gesso I'm talking about. It's pretty cheap. And sometimes even with the gesso, when you put it on, especially if you have ones that are paper, because I actually have a book that I use as well. Do I have it handy? I don't know. I can show you. Well, because this doesn't take actually long to dry. So, and because it's not the full page, come on. Oop. And it wouldn't have to be super dry. Trying to just put some extra where the bright colors are. Okay, we'll set that aside, let it dry for a few minutes. So what I also sometimes do, I sell Avon. Well, not as much as I used to because they changed their whole line of product, and I'm not thrilled about it. I find it expensive. So this used to be, my sister did Avon, tease Avon, because she lives in Guelph and I live in Quebec. So when I first started out, you couldn't do it in two different cities. So these are what the orders, well, see, there's some empty sheets, but I would write the orders down in here. So I don't like wasting anything. Even this one I got a gesso over this a lot, but even I gessoed this to do something. It'll need a few layers. And so sometimes, for instance, I used to keep it right beside me, and when I used to sometimes get certain scraps, I would throw it down in here and just have it, I would just, so that that's why my scraps are more than they used to be. This was some yellow one I created. So like, for instance, because it's paper and it's written on, this was going to be more of a design side. And so here, because it's already gessoed, I will just do the same thing here. So whatever you have, like it doesn't have to be cardstock. And if you don't have gesso, just double up the page, glue 2 pages together. Oop, I didn't want it that way. Silly me. So because by the time I put the front layer, the gesso on each side, it has a nice thickness. And not every and I've been learning this lately, because I used to always think, oh, I got to do it on cardstock, got to do every tag on cardstock. You can do tags on different papers. I just watched a lady just use book pages, and the way she glued it together, it was so unique and it was fabulous. And I was like, boy, I've been so worried about cardstock and everything being so straight. And she didn't even line it all the way. It looked, and the way she did it, it just looked amazing. Now, I've tried it. Mine didn't turn out as nice as hers, but I'll keep working at it till I like the way it looks. So grab old paper that you might be throwing in the recycle. If you have gesso, I bet you could use regular acrylic paint and even just water it down a little without buying a thing of gesso. I haven't tried that. I bought this gesso. Well, it's more than half gone now. I'll need a new one in a couple months probably. Because I don't even use it that. I'll use it. How can I show you also how I use gesso? Okay, say I have this. I'll put it on my finger. Especially if something's really bright. And it just adds another feel to it, another texture. It looks really cool when it dries. So that's what also the gesso is nice for. So I use it that way as well. I'll use it with stenciling. I'll color it and stencil with it. So it's useful. Here we are, we're supposed to be doing this, and I'm telling you about gesso. Told you, I chase rabbits. I chase them, I chase them, I chase them. I like to chase rabbits. I'm looking for another texture of paper. Plain paper, because I've got a lot of the same color. Well, which tells you what I like to use. Oh, remember I said I need a little piece of graph? It is a little piece of graph, but we'll use it. It's tiny, but I have to kind of put it on an area where there's not a lot of writing, because it is very thin, thin, thin. We'll just throw it right up there. And then we'll take this thin piece and run it down along there. So, like I said, it doesn't have to be just cardstock. I'm using a writing book that I had. Even with this, it's a type of thing is, if you went in and you gessoed it all and put paper down on it, you could even turn it into a collage book, a fun collage book to collage in. I haven't been doing any collaging because, guys, when there's not a lot of interest in it, I don't continue doing it in the group. Nobody seemed to, even mass making right now, I'm not sure anybody's really interested in it. Nobody's been really doing it. So, and I don't know what to do, what I'm doing wrong, what you guys want to see. And nobody's really, I mean, Lori, she said she wanted to see different pockets. And Lori doesn't have a printer or digital, so she wanted to see things done without digitals. So I tried to do a bit of that, but I didn't find a lot of interest in it anymore, so I didn't know what. I'm still doing it, as you can see, and I keep hoping I'll find something that strikes somebody's interest and you'll join in. This is perfect for me. I don't mind this mass making, because this is, a lot of times I don't mind still doing mass making, because even if you guys don't join in, I've built my own up. And so a lot of the tags you'll see me do with this are going to be for projects I have on the go, and some might even be Christmas ones for my, to put in my, I might save a couple of these for my Christmas adventures, Merry Mondays. So even though I said I didn't want to use that, I really want a piece of real tea dye. I don't know, ladies. I don't know. Wished I had more graph paper. Really wish. It's a good piece of tea dye. I don't know what it's doing in there. I just keep diving back in here, hoping to come across a new type of paper in here. Oh, let's use that one. There's another lined one. I keep hoping to come across some graph paper or something. I must not have been using a lot of graph paper lately. Oh, here's one. This one's like this. I printed this and then I splashed water on it, and I don't know if I like it or not. And I keep throwing it in my scraps, but every time I think I'm going to rip it up and use it, I keep thinking, oh, but it's got such a uniqueness to it. I think it is ready to go in a journal. And I think I know which journal I'm going to put it in. It's the same as this. That's ready for a journal. Let's stick that together. I'll put that in a journal. Why that's in my scrap box, I don't know. And I got this one I can use. This is printed the wrong way. And so I'll maybe use a piece of this because this has got really unique coloring to it. So I'm going to tear it up. And the other, this won't go to waste. I'll use that in a cluster or something. So that's why I'm just going to tear around it right now. Because that'd be nice in a cluster. Just even torn right around. I'm going to use the, I went ahead and tore right around it because that didn't tear well. See, that'd be nice just that way. But this won't go to waste. We'll throw it in here. Nope, nope, nope. We won't waste that little piece. We'll throw it in here. This will fit. Oh, see, that fit perfectly along there where I needed a small piece. Up. And this isn't the fastest. There's good and bad to this glue stick. It's not the fastest gluing, but and this will add. I want it to kind of go right there. So we're going to put it like that, and we're going to tear it right along there. Because it's a nut, it kind of has a different color to it than all the same color. So whatever you create, you want to, whatever paper you're going to use, and if you only have regular cardstock and you don't have my pieces like I have, pull out some cardstock. I have a ton of it too, and I have a ton of colors I never use. When I used to make a lot of cards, I bought a lot of colors at one time, and they kind of sit there more often than they probably should. See, I think that if I would have done that right. I know this sounds silly, but I'm actually just going to trim the top of that off. And I'm actually going to use that in a journal. But I'm going to do it this way. Like that. I do things like this too. With things I thought would have been a scrap now. Well, I've been watching a new way of junk journaling. So it's opened my eyes to other things now. The reason I didn't use this, because I like this for cluster making. I love it to be sticking out. So that's why I'm not using that one, because I want those for clusters. Let's see what else. I don't want to use that same one. We have this one I pulled out. Let's put that there. This is the top of an envelope. I didn't throw it out. It's kind of got a nice texture to it. There we go. That fit perfectly there. Again, let's just trim off that white. And I'm not even going to worry about maybe just a little of that, because it just doesn't suit it. I might not cut it all, but there. Oop. I'm going to run this glue stick right down along here. I mean, you try not to think about it too much, but you have to think about it somewhat. You know what I mean? I want a bit bigger because I just throw that there. I want to get rid of these little pieces. I've got so many little pieces and I'm creating more little pieces. So I'm just throwing it on there. I want to get rid of the little pieces. It's time to wipe my hands again. Everything's sticking to the fingers. Wide enough. Is this one wide enough? Yep. And after I do this one, we'll call it quits for the day. And then I'm hoping to see people do this. And just because I want to encourage you guys for mass making, and it didn't work the last time. Everybody who does some Masterboard, it has to be more than one because it's mass making, has to be 2 or more. And everybody that does 2 or more and post it in the event, your name, everybody's name will go into a draw, and I'll draw it for a prize that I will mail out. I don't know what that prize might be. Might be some fussy cuts. It might be some collage tags. I'm not sure what it will. It'll be a surprise mail from me of something. Either creation, something I created, or fussy cuts, or maybe some digitals I print off. Who knows? It'll be a surprise. Let's use up this little piece. Yep, I'm going to tear a little piece. I'm going to use the other pieces for patching in places. And I don't mind, because I think if, like, I used a lot of big pieces, so I want some places where it looks more collage. So it's nice to throw in these little pieces somewhere. Like I could even do it here if I wanted to add a little something there. But I have this up here. So I'm going to, they're the same piece, but to make one look different, I'm going to color it. Take my paper here. The house got so quiet. Cats are sleeping. My Pika drives me crazy for the first little while in the afternoon. And then this is just about the time she goes and naps. Her sister will nap most of the afternoon. But the hard part is at night when I really get creating, when I get a real time for myself, she wants to lay in my arms and be held. She lays across the desk and wraps her hands around my one arm and puts her head on my arm. And so then I don't get anything done. And we're almost done here, guys. I left a kind of awkward space there. Oh. Good thing about that glue, it dries pretty good up on its own. See, in this part, I might save and use in a cluster, so that's why I could even throw in a little green if I wanted to down here. Let's do that. Let's throw this green piece in there just to make it look. So basically, grab out your scraps, grab whatever type of paper you want to use as your tag base. And there we go. So that's another one done. And I'll just have to fix this up. I'm not sure if I like this one now, but I might overlap it. Who knows? But this is just that book that, so I just stick pieces, and I think I stopped sticking. I know why I stopped, because I didn't have any. And look, you see how this large one is? I just put it in there. So there we go. So you're going to take some and create some Masterboard collage, plain paper or lined paper. So you're not going to, you know, or graph paper, you know what I mean. No, you're not going to use flowered or anything like that, or print. You're going to use just lined paper and all that. I got to put that brush in and see if I can. Let me put the gesso away for now. I probably won't do more of this today. I'll probably do more mask making. I try to, when I do my mask making, I try to work, I set it aside about 45 minutes to an hour every day and mask make. When I'm doing with you guys, I took some time off, so I'm got to get some things mask made. And right now I want to get these bases mask made because I want to have them ready, tags ready for all my upcoming projects. And for instance, you can pull out, I can use this and create some with a purple back if I wanted to. Same with the blue, with blues and beiges. You can pull out your colored paper as well. I just had a lot of the same one. So like I'm going to stick all this together because it's ready to be used. And I'm just going to stick it in my scrap box so it's not, because my cats will jump on the desk and it'll go everywhere. Everywhere. So, and I have that piece of paper. I found a good piece of tea-dyed paper in my scraps. So, and even, so pull out your scraps. If you don't have a lot of scrap lined paper, find, some of mine are just, I'll show you when I used to work. Where did I put it? And I had to leave notes. This was a social committee at work. I used to belong to it. So I have some of this. So like you can pull out some of this. I'm going to just rip it because I'm going to throw it in with my stash because I'm going to use that. This, I mean, this was who was on my committee, and this was what, so this paper, as you can see, there's some still written on it. So like I won't be using those pages, but the other paper, because I don't use these notepads they're too small for my other note taking. So I will use that up. Sometimes I put this in a journal because it can nicely go in a journal. Sometimes I like it even like this, especially when I do a certain journal. Like it can go like this in a journal. It adds a nice page. Now that I'm, this is going to be a real random signature. It's going to be really different papers I put together. So, find, whatever you have, like you just seen, I ripped out, pages like that. I didn't do that this time because I had a lot, but I don't have a lot of lines. So that's why, since I had that kind of scrap still sitting in there, use that. If, doesn't matter what type of paper you use, as long as it's lined, it's something that you can write on. So, all right. So have a good afternoon. And please, I would love to see what you do. Just put it in the event. The event should be up in about an hour because it takes time for me to do all the editing to this and flip the video around and all that fun stuff. All right. Thank you very much for joining me, and have a wonderful rest of the afternoon and evening.